You're a huge sports fan. I see you at all the major fights.
Oh yeah, fights.
Is it true your uncle is Benny Leonard?
Yeah, my uncle on my mother's side was the greatest, well, second greatest. I think Duran is better lightweight. But second greatest lightweight.
Some people say Benny was the best.
Some say he was the best. And I remember stories about him when I was a little boy. There was a story, and I don't know how true it is, and he lived there on 8th Street and 2nd Avenue in New York City. And there's a story that as a little boy, he fell through a skylight and was watching the fight, landed into a gym or something, and to pay for that skylight, they had him go into the make up for it, to go in and fight some kid. And that's how he got started in fighting. Besides, he was a street fighter, real tough street fighter. He always fought anti-Semitism. That's what he got. That's what he, matter of fact, he came out of retirement once to fight a guy
who said something, or
who was beating up all the Jewish fighters at that time. And Benny lost. Benny was 35 years old or something at that time.
You were a tough kid too. Now people don't realize you were in a gang, right?
Street gang.
South Philly.
Yeah, South and then West Philly, the west end of the city.
Now you used humor as a defense, though. After a while, I mean,
yeah,
you were tough,
I mean, it's tough to make jokes when they're busting your nose. But, you know, no, I would.
But I want to tell you.
Yeah. Funny thing, a guy walks into a bar with a dog. No, what I did is I always tried to talk us out of it. You know, I remember one time there was some of the guys came up to the street corner. We used to hang out in 60th and Osage, and they came up and they were real angry. And let's go. We got to go out to this section. But what happened? Oh, we're out there at a party, and they called us big-nosed Jews, and let's get them. There were about 12 of us. Our gang was 45 strong. There were about 12 of us on the corner. Right. And I said, yeah. And everyone's angry. Who said it? Well, let's go get them. And I said, wait a minute, wait. Before we go get them, I just want all of us here, the 12 of us here, to look at each other. Now, what did they say? They said we big enough, and it just so happened that the 12 of us, all of us had honkers. So everyone started looking at everyone else, and we all started laughing, and that was the end of it.
Basically, we should accept it.
Yeah, we should. They happened to hit the right, those guys were.
You know, on the subject of the Jewish athlete and the Jewish tough guy, let's face it, they're not historically a long list. We had Steve Landesberg talking about the Jewish athlete, but specifically the Jewish outdoorsman. Not a lot of great Jewish outdoorsmen historically. Here's what Steve had to say about the hunters, etc., being Jewish.
I got mail on a Tonight Show because I said Jews don't hunt. So the one Jewish hunter in America wrote me a letter. But you think about a hunter the night before. Seymour, you want to go hunting for quail tomorrow? We'll get up at dawn, I'll bring a six-pack. I don't know if Murray can come or not. Still looking for the first Jewish duck hunter. I would love to see a guy go, boys, how you doing? What are you using, 22s? How's the vintage? I'm not a big hockey fan, and I know people that love hockey. I've tried, but I know there are no Jewish hockey players, because you will never hear a guy go, Marcel gave me such a smack, he high-sticked me, I was on the ice like a seal.
No, you don't. You really don't. You don't see a lot of that. Can you trace it? I don't mean to perpetuate
Actually, there have been great Jewish athletes.
There have been, but there are not a lot of guys with great contact. You know, mostly Jewish people.
Great fighters.
Yeah, but
Max and Buddy Bear.
Deprivation mostly, though.
Yeah, they came out of the streets. But you know something interesting? The first man back in the 1700s, around 1780, by the name of Daniel Mendoza.
Right.
Daniel Mendoza was the heavyweight champion of the world, 5'7", 160 pounds. He was a Sephardic Jew. He's the one that came out and introduced the boxing before it was a brawl. He introduced the boxing. First of all, he would have sparring partners. No one had him before. Second of all, he introduced the straight left. He introduced moving to the left and right, not just forward and backwards. He introduced all the footwork and defensive boxing. And he remained the champ. He was in his 50s. He was 56 years old. He was in a fight, and a man, he had long hair. And a man grabbed his hair, held his hair, and beat him holding his hair. Wow. And so the first guy was a lot of tough Jewish fighters.
And interesting to note about David is he is a student of the sport of boxing particularly. In fact, he's at every major fight. And we're going to come back in just a few moments. I'm going to talk about the first time he met Jack Dempsey. And then we'll hear from another colleague and friend of his on the great Jewish athletes down through the years, Richard Lewis. We'll talk
yeah, he knows.
Yes, we'll come back. David Brenner on the I Hate to Work Out video. It's after this.